welcome to the video news series of Global Green News. Here are the headlines for today. In international news, the German Greens' advances in polls noted last March are slowing. Should the German Greens be concerned? We will take a closer look in today's episode. Green parties in the Asia-Pacific region are making headlines this past month, with a new Green candidate winning the elections for Secretary General in Taiwan. New policies, new ideas for the Taiwanese society, with another prominent woman in power. Who is she? What new policies will she be focusing on? Questions answered by our team for you today. And finally, in our main story, we'll take a closer look at the Canadian Green Party. Current issues within the federal party have sparked national and international reactions, with Green Party leader Annamie Paul heavily criticized in the last month. Her position today is questioned. Is she the right leader for the Canadian Greens after all? We will provide our analysis of current events. Despite a dazzling start, in Europe, the German Greens are currently losing steam in East Germany in the election race, gaining only 6% of votes in the conservative state of Saxony-Anhalt. Party members had hoped to win at least 10% of votes in recent elections, but unfortunately did not gain as much ground as expected. Could the Green hype be deflating? An expert interviewed by CNBC clarifies.
Olga, I've been reading your notes, and I was fascinated by, I'm going to put words in your mouth here, how dismissive you are on the chances of the Greens basically leading the next government come September as well. In fact, you've only given them like a 20% chance as opposed to a 60% chance of having a form of alliance that could create a new government.
Well, the Greens do have a chance to lead the new government, but much of the Green hype that we have seen over the last 7 weeks since they picked Annalena Baerbock as their candidate has been simply overdone. There is some natural fascination with the new, but when it really comes to thinking, whom do we want to lead this country? Whom do we really trust to manage things reasonably well? Voters stick to what they know. Germans don't have, if you look at the objective situation, economy is rebounding nicely. The pandemic is being managed not very well, but much better than almost everywhere else, including the UK. When you look at that, Germans don't have a reason to yearn for change as much as they love a fresh face. And that's what the election shows. We are back to normal. The Conservatives are by far the strongest party. The Greens have won a little bit in Saxony-Anhalt, but they look deflated because it really seems unlikely that they will beat the Conservatives into second place on the national stage. Not impossible, but unlikely.
You made a really interesting point about charisma in your notes as well. And let's be honest about it. Whatever one may think about Donald Trump and Boris Johnson, there's something about them in terms of charisma as well, whether you like their politics or dislike their politics, and we can park that conversation. Armin Laschet, according to you, he's uncharismatic. Is that something about the German psyche that you were just saying there? They want something predictable and they're not worried about more star-like quality?
Well, if you think about Angela Merkel, you would certainly not say that she is very charismatic. And if you're basically not too unhappy with your situation, which is what Germans are, we complain a lot, but these are complaints about the small things over here, not about the big things. If you don't really yearn for change, you don't need the charismatic leader who promises to break things. Germans don't want things to be broken because they are not that bad. And hence, Germans are okay with a non-charismatic leader.
Party members are urging Baerbock to expand her platform to include multiple issues, especially those that might be more appealing to the more rural voting population in East Germany. Baerbock and the German Greens remain excited about this election season and say that they are looking forward to the challenge. Green parties in the Asia-Pacific regions are making headlines. Li Tingqi, who goes by Zoe, recently won the elections for Secretary General of the Green Party in Taiwan. In 2016, she served as the Taiwanese representative for Global Young Greens and most recently was acting Deputy Secretary General of the Green Party. Her impressive career with the Greens is matched by her many campaigns for environmental protection and human rights assistance. As Secretary General, Zoe is currently spearheading a campaign to legalize marijuana. Marijuana in Taiwan is currently a Class 2 drug, and possession comes with a maximum sentence of life in prison. Working from the inside, she is currently creating more proportionate and appropriate laws surrounding marijuana. Global Green News is looking forward to seeing where her new position takes her and the Green Party in Taiwanese politics. And now onto our special edition. The Canadian Green Party is currently in the midst of an internal struggle regarding leader Annamie Paul. Her election as leader of the Federal Green Party in October 2020 was thought to be an exciting new chapter for Canadians. She was seen as a fresh voice in federal politics, and as a Black Jewish woman, many expected that her election would bring in a unique intersectional perspective to a predominantly white party. However, her leadership was questioned following the escalation of tensions in the Israel-Palestine conflict in May 2021. Paul's refusal to condemn the State of Israel for its crimes against Palestinians caused outrage and tensions within the Green Party of Canada. Her opponent's beliefs were made clear in a leaked letter. Paul's calculated neutrality was seen as standing against core Green values. She was accused of ignoring party precedent in regards to Israel, and her party members continue to push for her to acknowledge the current state of apartheid. Former Green Member of Parliament Jenica Atwin crossed the floor to the Liberals in the wake of this conflict, stating that she stands with Palestinians. Atwin claimed that Paul's statement, when calling for de-escalation and return to dialogue, was insufficient. She is quoted as saying Paul's stance is totally inadequate. She later retracted the statement to align with the Liberal Party stance on Israel-Palestine and claimed she wants a more collaborative party with less internal conflict. Atwin cited conflict with Paul's advisor Noah Zatzman and infighting within the Green Party as the official reason for her departure. With a caucus of 3 sitting Green MPs in Parliament, the loss of Atwin is a major blow to the federal Green Party. In 2019, her victory in Fredericton, New Brunswick, as the first Green Party MP in the Atlantic region of Canada, was a historic victory. Her departure is a major setback for the Greens, taking away 1/3 of their seats in Parliament. Former party leader and sitting MP Elizabeth May claims that Atwin's departure was prompted by statements of Noah Zatzman. Senior advisor to Paul, Zatzman stated mid-May in social media post quotes, "We will work to defeat some sitting Green MPs that he called anti-Semitic and called for new Zionists in the Green Party." Zatzman is also accused of harassing Atwin for her pro-Palestinian stance, and May cites this as the reason for her departure. Zatzman's contract has since then been terminated. Paul reacted to Atwin's departure with disappointment, claiming she was blindsided by this move. Currently accusing Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland of having a hand in Atwin's crossing, Paul claims Freeland is aiding Prime Minister Trudeau in his pattern of undermining strong women at the height of their careers by pushing competent and capable women out of politics. Trudeau does this to women with impunity, alleged Paul in a video posted by CBC.
A small group of councillors sought to force a vote of non-confidence in my leadership. They did so with no substantive consultation with the members they represent. They produced a list of allegations that were so racist, so sexist, that they were immediately disavowed by both of our MPs as offensive and inflammatory and contrary to party ethics, and I thank our MPs for that. The plan of this small group of councillors who are on their way out did not succeed. I am thankful to the majority of our councillors who chose to reject those allegations and to respect the wishes of our members as expressly given to us in the leadership race 8 months ago. And I join with them in our collective commitment to the growth of our party and our success in the upcoming federal elections. I thank them sincerely for their confidence in my leadership, and I look forward to continuing to work with them.
As of now, the 2 remaining MPs have still not declared their support for Paul publicly. Her dissidents claim the vote took place for other reasons, including not attending council meetings and having a non-collaborative attitude. Her bad relationship with the party's caucus, as evidenced by Atwin's departure, was also cited. The month of June was thus a month of internal turmoil for the Canadian Green Party, leaving the future of federal Green politics in a state of confusion and disarray, begging the question, what comes next? Global Green News will continue to follow up on the developments of the story pertinent to Green supporters across Canada in the coming month. That marks the end of this edition. Thank you for being with us today on Global Green News. Stay tuned for ongoing stories and regular updates on Green parties around the world on our website, globalgreen.news. My name is Ava Van Dam, and on behalf of our team here in Montreal, have a good day.